The next one is Notarum, Intelligent Diligence. Angela, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much. Now I'll just share my screen here.
Full screen, please, and let's start.
Excellent. You can see my presentation?
Yeah, good luck.
Perfect. Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Angela, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Notarum, and we are your partner in intelligent diligence. So companies are spending over $100 billion a year on their compliance programs, but unfortunately, it is a huge waste of money. Onboarding times globally have exceeded 3 weeks. It's because companies have to supply a huge amount of data to each other before they do business. As a result, companies then have to hire huge teams to process this data. And an astounding, which means 80% of compliance spend globally is on headcount. This is both bad for business and a huge opportunity for us. And an astounding 90% of companies don't check the information that was supplied by their vendors. Basically, you're asking the criminals if they're criminals and expecting them to be honest in their reply. It doesn't really work this way. But by far the biggest problem is fragmentation, because when you enter data into any of the various platforms or tools that you need to use to complete a check, it's very slow, staff hate it, and it introduces the opportunity for error because you're manually re-entering the same information. There is a better way, and we have built it. So our team at Notarum have built an end-to-end workflow solution to help companies automate their onboarding and ongoing due diligence. And we automate around 90% of the current process. We currently connect with 200 databases in 150 countries, but we've built the platform to be totally unlimited by integrations. So if a customer wants us to include a database, we can make it happen. We service the entire third-party value chain. Let me break that down. So we help companies identify who they're doing business with, right up to the ultimate beneficial owner. We then help screen all the individuals and companies for politically exposed persons lists, sanctions lists, financial crime, and other risks. We then use the information to complete an AI-powered customizable risk assessment before all the information is approved via our inbuilt e-signing tool. All of the documents, data, and decisions are then stored in our audit trail. We then have management tools for individuals or individual contributors to manage their daily workflow, so they always know exactly what to do next and there's no stalling. And management can then get a good overview of what their team is doing in terms of velocity, open cases, and identifying any bottlenecks. Our current customers are using either our API, suite of APIs, or our web-based interface, which we can have new customers up and running with just a few minutes. We can service any industry, but our go-to-market strategy focuses on just 5: fund management, technology, professional services, multinational organizations, and of course, financial institutions. We've built strong corporate partnerships with some of the biggest names in the business. We're currently part of the Techstars Hub Accelerator, and we're also looking at several of these opportunities for sales, but also reseller partnerships. The team powering Notarum is Jamie and myself. This was my daily nightmare, which is why I'm so passionate about solving this pain point. I was a corporate lawyer for a private equity fund, and we managed investments across multiple different countries. I teamed up with Jamie, who is an engineer and data scientist, and she manages our tech team. She spent time as a management consultant for Accenture and also works in early stage startups for the last 8 years. We're perfectly timed when hitting the market. Companies are now accelerating their digital transformation journey more than ever. Compliance costs are becoming a huge focus, and companies know they need to do better. And that's where we come in. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for great pitch. And it's time for questions. Yes, please, guys. Any feedback?
Hi, this was actually a very good pitch, and I'm interested to hear a little bit more about your competitors and your competitive advantage.
Sure. So we try and use a lot of our competitors actually as partners. So a lot of people think that we compete with, the Dow Joneses or the Thomson Reuters, but actually for us, they're data providers. So that's not a competitive relationship. what a lot of organizations do is try to focus very narrow, whereas we know from the enterprise landscape, from the huge amount of customer validation work we've done, is they need an end-to-end solution. So rather than going narrow and deep, we've gone quite wide, and we've also kept the platform incredibly customizable. So if you are a venture capital fund that doesn't do a huge amount of volume but needs a regular ongoing checking of their portfolio, we can do that. If you are one of the big four or a big multinational and need to do regular due diligence on vendors at a higher kind of rate but not as deep, we can do that as well. So that customization really sets us apart. But to be honest, when we think about the competitive landscape, we don't actually think about specific competitors. We think about the existing manual process as a whole, because organizations are doing this every day. They do have a process in place. They've cobbled it together with kind of sticky tape with both hands, but it is a process. And so for us to come into an organization, we need to shift the organization from a manual process into an automated process. So that's more what I think about when I think about competitive landscape.
Thank you so much.
How quickly are the reports generated, and what's the revenue model?
Yeah, we can report, we can generate reports very quickly for you. So it depends on, we have customizable templates. So therefore, if you would like to do a quick check on someone, it's a few minutes. If you would like to do an in-depth check on someone, it's obviously a little bit more of a process, but the reports are automatically generated at the end of that process, or midway if you'd like that. The revenue model is a SaaS recurring revenue model. So we, again, spoke with our customers a lot to figure out how they would like to be charged. The smaller guys would prefer a per check fee, and we can facilitate that. But our bread and butter is really the large enterprise monthly recurring SaaS fee. And we charge across 3 different pricing tiers based on the amount of users that you have on the platform and also the modules that we supply that you use. So we know we want the product to feel like it's part of the team internally, and that the team can jump on and use it as much as possible, because that's when you start to identify risk, is when your team really feels empowered to do the checks they need to do. So that's what we want to provide for our customers.
Are your cash flow positive?
Almost, yeah, we are. So we've built our, we call it the Gen 1 product. It is our MVP. It is the first product we took to market, but it is, it does everything it needs to do. It has, a lot of the bells and whistles that our enterprise clients, expect. We are very lean in terms of cost-wise, but we are about to start fundraising in Q2, and that's really to get some growth capital behind us to enter new markets and spend on some marketing.
How you overcome the lack of trust in terms of getting the partners, because they have hard time to trust someone, a company, because a lot rely on compliance things, and if you fail them as a partner, the repercussions might be very hard for them. So how you can...
Yeah, absolutely. So we don't actually conduct the checks ourselves. We connect with a multitude of different data sources, and we provide a software tool that our customers then conduct the checks themselves. So really the trust is in their own team. We help with the trust as well, because of the customizable templates that we provide. It means companies can actually set a methodology for themselves, and then the compliance team collectively follows that methodology. Whereas at the moment, they might train a team, and then 2 years later, they might do some more training, but in the middle, kind of people figure out how to do the process on their own. So we're helping with that trust on one level. On the other level, our data providers are big names in the business. So you're getting a reputable data source. We are the conduit between that data source and your business.
Do you have VCs as a client today?
What's that, sorry?
Do you have VCs as clients today?
We do, yeah, absolutely. One of the big global VCs. I won't say on live, but I'm happy to take it offline and talk to, have a chat through our customer landscape.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, dear judges, thank you for great pitch. Dear judges, please don't forget to vote for our startups, please. It's very, very important. If you need some help, please let us know in chat.